Hi everyone, sorry for the wait. Also, why is it that you always say the most unhinged stuff to me, Ryoshu, right as we're voting in the stream, you know? It's... I swear, every time we start one of these streams, you just say one of the most unhinged things imaginable. Okay, well that's poor timing, but I was also about to mention that if you listen, we finally actually have more music rather than just the Hesed music. And as I was about to say that, it decided to hit me with the Hesed one. I'm gonna swap that. So we can actually hear some of the new music, rather than me just doing that. Want to see a peak emote? Sure. I'll look at a peak emote before we start reading here. Why not? Oh, I also almost forgot to get rid of that one. Let me shoot that real quickly. I'll do this, I think. How are these on Twitch? Is my question. Oh god. Oh, what the fuck? I did not mean to pin that. I did not mean to unpin that. It went right over where I was looking. No. How is that on Twitch? That's actually crazy to me that that's made it onto Twitch. Like, what? Out of all things, that makes it through. You know what? Props to that creator. I'm surprised they... Huh. Yeah, props to them. They actually made it through that. That's actually crazy to me. Huh. I wish to have that much power to get around Twitch at some point. Never gonna happen, but you know, it would be really funny if I were able to do that. Because that's genuinely crazy. Because yeah, it's just like, what? Because like, weren't people getting in trouble for like even just the Among Us like twerking one, you know? I remember that being like a controversy. Where like a lot of like ones just would just kind of get caught and get in trouble for it. Meanwhile that emote. Hey, I will say, I am thumbs up. But since I'm now getting off tangent, I probably should get us back on track. We are back on chapter 22 of Distortion Detective. We were basically right on the epilogue and prologue. We had just gotten on the warp train, or they've just all gone on the warp train after sealing our Vespa into the teddy bear workshop, basically. So I think we are basically finally gonna meet Diaz. We're finally gonna meet Diaz, if I remember correctly, was the plan for this one. Pretty sure we were supposed to meet her anyways. Because didn't we see that one in the brief? I think yeah, we saw it in the brief thing right before it all, you know. But you know, I think it's gonna be fun. It's probably gonna be interesting to say the least, because basically we finally made it. Oh god, I hear my own voice. Ugh. So I don't know what's that. I know based on Limbus Company, they're gonna get picked up by Diaz, but we still don't know what they do exactly, do we? I don't remember in Limbus Company. I don't think they ever actually said what they specifically do. How did I zoom out over here? My cursor's on the other side of my computer. Uh-huh. Glitch wheeze, yeah, beautiful. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be interesting, because also, we know that DS is not liked. Especially just from what we've seen of them so far. Moses does not seem to be her biggest fan, so this will be interesting, hopefully. Greeting, Dr. Moses, you've come at last. A familiar pair of arrogant eyeballs await me right outside the warp terminal. The way he speaks infuriates me even more. At last, he says, like I had any choice. I was caught in the shrewd trap he set. Those words could very well mean, as I expected. Didn't you tell us to come to your workroom at the association? I came here to pick you up instead, because we have no time to lose. What happened to your right arm? It's appalling to see him assume an air of caution. Ezra, deal with whatever he has to say to me. I'll be in the smoking lounge for a bit. Got it, detective? So this is Diaz. What kind of voice? Would be a fun voice for Diaz, because I know she's crazy rich, and from what I know about Limbus, she is a traitor of some sort. Or, well, maybe less traitor knowing that she owned it, and more of willing to sabotage, I think. Oh, whoa. What the hell did I just... What the hell did I just press? I am breaking things today. There it is. That one where Diaz is Diaz. Diaz is Diaz. I'm just wondering what voice to do for crazy evil woman, basically. Crazy rich. I don't know if she's crazy. I know she's crazy rich, though. I know that much. She's also a part of Limbus Company, so you know she is probably crazy. Moses? Is that really you, Moses? I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do like a fake nice kind of voice. We'll probably figure out a better fitting voice as time goes on, maybe. This voice, that son of a bitch, Han Hee-jun, screwed me over in more ways than one. Perhaps the real meaning of his "at last" was in spite of everything. Detective? Or no, that's not the right voice. It's fine. Ezra quickly stands between me and the unwelcome guests. Oh, Ezra's here too! Oh, I missed you two so much! Her despicable voice, her sly eyes, and her pitying gaze towards us. Diaz, please just leave us. We can't handle this, not today, Ezra pleads in a quavering voice. I like how she just acts like she's not getting begged to, like she's torturing them. Moses, dear, I forgot all about what happened that day. So can't we go back to how we used to be in the good old days? Pretty please? This person hasn't changed one bit since that day, from her appearance to her demeanor. Right, Hee-jun? It's all in the past, isn't it? Han Hee-jun stays silent. That day, I led hundreds of people to death. I wanted to save them from Diaz's arms, but I could not. Diaz, what shady bullshit were you plotting with Taeyong Produce Co. in District 14? Holding in my feelings, I quietly asked. Ah, that thing, actually... Lady Diaz, I'm afraid we'll have to take a rain check on that. Dr. Moses has to take care of an urgent matter of the association right now. Han Hee-jun interviewed with a laugh. Aw, really? That's too bad. Do invite these two to my home later, okay? Understood. I'll arrange it as soon as the doctor finishes our mission. We sat in the back of Han Hee-jun's vehicle, none of us willing to speak first. I gaze out the window. The reason I've come to District 11, it's not to make money, keep my name in the association, or to solve distortions. It's to face the past. I had to confront with it someday. As I explained 2 months ago, 7 Association wants the distortion in its whole, Doctor. Are you listening to me? Mm-hmm. At least, I am Hee-jun Senior. Or I'm just going to say senior rather than just going the full name, I think. Also just kind of reads better. Ezra answered in my stead. I'm not going to comment on what you just said, Ryoshu. I'm good. I'm good. We're heading to a rural village. Our association has been keeping an eye on the place for the last 2 months, and the time is right to harvest that fruit. Are you saying the town has already been ravaged by the distortion already? I opened my mouth. No, it's a peaceful place, but it is distorted. Even I could tell, and I'm not capable of seeing the distortion. The car stopped in front of a street. We've arrived. You can get out now. Ezra and I stepped out of the back. Han Hee-jun lowered the driver's side window. Walk down the street for about 15 minutes and you'll find a small village. And what exactly am I supposed to do there? I haven't received any documentation detailing the mission. I took a pack of cigarettes out of the inner pocket of my coat and held a cigarette in my mouth. Ezra lights up. Dr. Moses, your smoking pipe? Surprise, Han Hee-jun asked. Oh, I thought it was saying Ezra lighting up. Get a Brazilian backlift is crazy. I have a good butt already. I'm good, Ryoshu. Dr. Moses, your smoking pipe? Surprised, Hanijun asked. It's a long story, so care to remind me what we should do here? You'll see once you enter the village. Your work is to investigate the place and draw a cogent conclusion from it. After report what happened in the village to the association. I swung my hand at Hanijun as a gesture that he's told me enough, and as such could sod off now. What, is Moses also British? Like, I realized the localizers really like the word sod, that it's like not even used for just British characters, because unless Moses is a British name all of a sudden, I don't think that's right. No, I don't think that's right. Dr. Moses, this will be a wretched job. I poked smoke into the air and Hanijun raised the window back up. Please, survive. He just won't stop being an ominous sod. Leaving us behind, he drove soddily away. The ominous sod who drove soddily away. Thank you, Moses. Smash? I guess you'd have to find out on your own. Ezra, Yuria, get ready. Yes, detective! Ezra tightened the grip on her dimensional bag. That was too cramped. Yuria climbed into my pocket and zoomed on my shoulder. We walked along the narrow street and headed into the village. Why does she look so angry in this image? Also, that is not a good quality image. Here we go. Let me open that. I wish it was a little bit better quality to look at this, but like, holy, yeah, from the images, yeah, no, she really is just the most crazy rich person in existence. The pendant's an eye. Smash? Yeah, I know you're saying smash to DS. Yeah, honestly, no comment on my part. No comment. I really love also that just going down the entirety of her jacket. I guess would it be considered a trench coat? I think that's a trench coat. Yeah, that is. It's very nice. Also, the scepter. Is that Ra's scepter? That's Ra, isn't it? Like the Sunbringer? Oh, is that not supposed to be an eye and it's supposed to be the sun? Because, like, isn't the Ra scepter? Or Ra, not double. Why did I put double O like an idiot? What scepter is that Ra's? I mean, it looks like a scepter of Ra. I might be wrong, but yeah, isn't that like Ra's scepter? I think it is. Yeah. So it is the Sun God scepter. Curse of Ra, woe be upon you. Woe be upon you. Curse of Ra. Curse of Ra. I took a drink and I looked over to Ryoshu saying smash to you as well. It's crazy. You mean with hammers, right, Ryoshu? You mean with hammers, yeah. How do you say that? Is that queer kiss? Queer kiss. I'm just gonna call it queer kiss because that's funny to me. It's 10 in the morning. The sun beams down on that somber alley. We walked up the winding street. There are many unknown paths like this in the back street. Uncharted streets not shown on any map. Walking into an unfamiliar street poses a great risk, as is the case with the nests. Each area of the back street has its own culture. Unexpected savagery could be waiting around the corner. Walking down the streets for around 15 minutes, as Hanijun instructed, I could see a sign that read, Quirkus Village. He didn't bother to give me a detailed description on this town. What are the cultural characteristics of the village? Are there any taboos? Anything... Will it be okay for us to readily set foot in this village? It probably will be. As much of a shady creep as Han is, he's not the type of person to lead us into death in such a primeval way. I took some time to smoke at the entrance before entering the village. Detective, do you want me to prepare for combat just in case? Ezra asks, and I shook my head. Because we have no idea what this place is, we shouldn't let ourselves look nervous. Let's act natural and pretend that we're travelers. Senior would be perfect as a food tourist exploring local eateries, Yuria added. I smile a little. That certainly does fit Ezra well. That doesn't sound bad. We'll disguise ourselves as traveling writers who tour small restaurants hidden in the alleys and street corners around the city. My work is to cover the venues and evaluate the quality of food. As for you, Ezra, you can be my traveling partner and bodyguard, a person who goes around the corner of the back street when needs someone to escort them, which justifies your use of force. Gosh, I love that idea. I want to be a bodyguard that also judges food. Do as you wish. And Uria, don't say a word outside of emergencies. And keep your voice low when you do have to talk. It'd be a hassle to explain how a teddy bear can move and speak to the town folks. Duly noted. I ashed my cigarette in the portable ashtray. Alright, time to head in. Oh yeah, she did lose her full-on pipe. Yeah, because her arm got cut off and it's now stuck with Vespa, so she's now just smoking with regular cigarettes. Poor Moses. When I entered the town, I couldn't believe my eyes. It's a quiet and cozy place, and lush flowers and grass lines the street. I see houses and buildings in vibrant colors that don't match the gray tone of the city. Brick houses that are about 2 to 3 stories tall. Wooden roof? This beauty and peace is what you'd expect in a nest somewhere. How could a town outside of the nest be so calm and pleasing? I know there are many alleyways, known to only few, but I've never visited a place in the back streets that is as snug and tranquil as this fairy tale town. Perhaps it's my knowledge that is shallow. Maybe there are more places like this. Oh wait, I just realized, where's my chapstick? There it is. My lips started bothering me. I'm a dry lip have an ass. Wow! Ezra seems to be struck with amazement as well. I looked around to see if there was any villager I could talk to. Not a single person outside. Perhaps it's obvious this is a weekday. The townspeople likely have jobs to do and money to earn. Even then, this is eerily quiet. Looks like I'll have to poke around the buildings in the town. A restaurant should be an ideal starter. Ezra, or wrong voice. Ezra, look for eateries nearby. Will do! Ezra takes the lead with brisk steps. She seems quite excited. I lazily follow her along. This town appears to have about 50 households. The population would be around 80 people. A dinner, cafe, or pub. There has to be at least one of those venues. Detective! Detective! Over here! I found one! Ezra waves her hand at me, looking like she found something. I see a door with a sign that reads, Duma Tea House. Hearing the clanging of chimes, Ezra and I entered the cafe. It's a small venue with 4 tables and a floor space about 15 pyong. Oh, welcome to the shop. The voice did not seem to expect a guest. Is this place open right now? I asked. Yes, of course. I presume you don't get customers at this hour. You see, our town is a rather remote spot, so I rarely had any visitors outside of the town people here. Oh dear, they are a little wary of us. I suppose this is the closed village as I expected. Ooh, I should probably turn that up just a little bit. Oh no, that just music was really quiet then. Okay. I saw like the volume was like barely touching the like was barely lighting up, so I got really worried for a second. Also, by the way, please tell me if I need to adjust the music, by the way. Because I'm not sure quite what is a good audio level for the background sound. So if you guys need me to, if it's a little too quiet, I can turn it up a wee bit. Or if it's too loud for my voice, you can yell at me to turn it down a bit too. Because I am still messing around with the audio spectrum on this one. So if there's anything I'm failing on, please do tell me. I really do appreciate if you guys tell me when I'm doing something stupid. I suppose this is a closed village, as I suspected. I must say, I was surprised as well. I never thought I would stumble upon such a beautiful town in an unexpected place like this. Pardon my manners. Let me introduce myself. I'm Momo. Moses trying to call herself Momo is, I think, the funniest part about of this entire series so far. A traveling gourmet who seeks out unknown restaurants and obscure locations. And this is my partner. Partner? do you mean by that, Moses? I gotta make that joke at least once. All right, it's right there. I'm Miss Bobo's partner in travel. What is that name? Zez? My name's Zez. I'm gonna guess that's it. That's a false name just as elaborate as mine. Oh, you are travelers, I see. Our town certainly is pretty, but I'm afraid it's not famous for its food. It's fine. Finding new restaurants on the street I'm visiting for the first time is a genuine pleasure to me, on its own worth. I'm Dewey, owner of Damar Tea House. Oh, let me bring you the menu. We chose a table, and took a seat. It's a charming little tea house. I could feel the warmth of a wooden construction. The afternoon sunlight shined through the windows, a sense of serenity and relaxation, which is a rarity in this city. It's like a luxury that only those in affluent areas can have a taste of. Here's our menu. Take your time and give me an order when you've made up your mind. Whoa, it's only just that a true alley restaurant connoisseur should try out every dish on the menu, right, Miss Momo? Ezra, you glutton. Slow down, Mrs. Ez. Did you forget that our only rule is only try 3 dishes the chef recommends? I lightly pinched Ezra's hand. She frowned a little in response. Dewey looks at us with a smile, seemingly amused by our little banter. Okay, yeah, so that's the norm. Okay, that is him. Oh, hey! Isn't that doll Kokomi the Red Bear? It's a teddy bear character that was famous for a while before it got discontinued. What? I was confused by the question that came completely out of left field. What's a Kokomi? Ezra naively asked. You idiot. We're supposed to go with the flow, not ask questions about what is common knowledge to them right away. This will only make us look more suspicious. Oh, right. You said you were travelers. I guess you came from a pretty far away place. The character was still pretty popular at its time, though. Yuria slightly trembles on my shoulder. She must have a thing or two to say about that. This was a gift from an acquaintance of mine, actually. I understand that you're a big fan of cute characters like this, Mrs. Ez. Didn't you know about this one? I gave Ezra a subtle signal. Oh, Kokumi the Red Bear. Yep, I do. It'd be a crime to not know Kokumi. It's Kokomi. An awkward pause ensues. Honesty is the only way out of this. We're from the northern side of the city, so we don't know much about what goes on here in the south. The north? You come from such a far away. I've never left District 11 in my life, let alone got anywhere near the northern areas. Well, you could say same for most people in the city. I gave a serviceable response. It's time to change the topics. Well then, Dewey, I'd like to order 3 dishes of your suggestion. Okay, please wait warmly. Dewey went into the kitchen. I could hear the sounds of tableware rattling. I looked out the window and there's still no one out on the town streets. Is this town always so quiet? I talked to the kitchen with a somewhat loud voice. Right now it's the season of the harvest festival of our town. People who's got time to spare are preparing the ceremony at the town hall. A period of celebration, a closed village, and unique customs. Not a good combination. Things like this usually follow a formula. And the formula usually ends up with a creepy cannibalistic ceremonies or cultic carnage parties. However, if this was one of those predictable cases, Section 2 of 7 wouldn't have bothered to entrust me with solving it. I'll take a straightforward approach. A harvest festival? Could we have joined that festival, if you don't mind? Also, thanks, Mario, for the kick me. Oh, gosh. Depending on the villager's reaction, this could be categorized into one of the 2 types. Rejecting outsiders or actively inviting them to participate. In the case of the latter, there's a high probability that the outsider ends up being a sacrificial lamb. This one, being a welcoming kind, would be much more convenient for us to resolve the mission. It's simply too much of a hassle to try and sneak into a festival that excludes outsiders. Of course! A festival becomes merrier with more people enjoying it. Dewey came out of the kitchen with food for us. Black tea, pancakes, and omelets. Looks plain, but Ezreal's eyes sparkled. Well then, enjoy your food. I'll go ask everyone in the town hall. Thank you. Smiling, Dewey left the restaurant. Ezra, what do you think? It was quite orthodox. You think so too? Yep, a fairly sweet vanilla pancake, flavored pancake, a moderately soft omelet, and a moderately fragrant cup of black tea. All standard. You know, every time I hear tea mentioned in either the in games or in like a book, I need to try like some actual good tea at some point. But I don't think I actually know anywhere that actually serves tea in my town, is I think the only problem with that. We don't really have like a full-on cafe where I'm at, so I don't really have to. So I think I probably would have to like drive up for like an hour to Tri-Cities, or yeah, the Tri-Cities in our area. We basically got like multiple like Tri-Cities. It's like a couple hours away though, so we'll see how that goes. I'll have to look it up when I'm in the area. Skill issue? No, it's not quite a skill issue. I'm going to try doing it at some point. I'm probably just going to end up going to a place if I'm ever in the area, I think, more than anything. I'm not going to drive an hour out just to try some tea, you know? Though, I have been wanting to try rock climbing in that area, so, you know, I guess that would be a perfect time to get tea afterwards, huh? My arm's just dead as I'm, like, just trying tea, I guess, for the first time. It would be fun. Though, we'll see. A lot of people call tea time relaxing, so it probably would be nice to do after, like, killing my arms in that fashion, you know? I placed my hand on my forehead. I guess I should just leave her to fill her stomach for now. I ran my eyes over the tea shop again. I don't see any apparent anomalies. This is nothing more than a cozy tea house. Some time has passed. Door chimes rang as Dewey returned to the tea shop. Miss Momo, Mrs. Ez, the town people are all gladly agreed to let you participate. Shall we head to the town hall if you're done eating? Quite the welcoming kind. I have no reason to refute it. The faster this job is dealt with, the better. Will do. Mrs. Ez, how did you enjoy the meal? It was overwhelmingly satisfying, Miss Momo. We left the restaurant to follow Dewey. The time is just past 1 p.m. This village is a fascinating sight to behold. If I ever earn the right to retire and live to an old age, perhaps this is where I choose to spend the rest of my life. While I was immersed in such thoughts, we arrived at the town hall. This appears to be the widest building in town. Everyone, here's Miss Momo and Mrs. Ez, the visitor I told you about earlier. Ezra and I nodded a greeting. There are about 40 people inside the building. Each of them bid us a welcome. This is not good. I look at Ezra and back at the town folks. Now I understand why Han Hee-jun gave me the job. A pleasure to meet you. I am Damas, head of the village. I heard from Dewey that you two are travelers. Yes, we're travelers who search for restaurants around the corners of the streets. I'm Momo, and this is Ez. Hello! Ezra cheerfully greets them. Thank you for allowing strangers like us to join the Festival of Vigors. That's the charm of traveling, isn't it? Besides, festivals are more fun when there are other people to celebrate together. The town people are all making effigies out of tree branches. We'd like to help you with the preparation. Oh, no, you've come from a far place. You deserve some rest. I believe participating in all stages of a festival, starting with its preparation, is the way to truly enjoy it, as you mentioned. Thomas laughed. You raise a good point. Then I'll tell the people here that you two are helping us as well. We helped the town folks with preparing for the festival for a while. I carefully watched them while we worked. What I see confirms that my suspicion I have is not just my imagination. Is there a place where I could smoke in this village? I asked the villager standing next to me. Oh, you're free to smoke outside as long as no one's around. Just make sure not to throw the cigarette butt on the ground. Sure thing. I stepped out of the town hall. The clock struck 4. There's not a single person out in the town streets I could see. I went to a remote place and pulled out a cigarette and placed a hand on my forehead. Detective Moses, did you figure out anything? Uriah whispers. I puffed out smoke. Yes. I cannot see any distortion from any of the town people here. Huh. Basically, for what we've been told, If I'm remembering correctly anyways. Distortion's on everybody from Moses' point of view. And the only people who aren't are the ones who have either had ego gear. Yeah, or no, yeah, the only ones you can't see it on are the people who have already, like, fully released their ego. Otherwise, they go full distortion, no? So are all these people not real, maybe? Or are they being controlled in some way, I'm guessing? No, but didn't the school also have people? Oh, we'll see. This will be interesting. Also, thank you for the good boy, Ryoshu. Thank you very much. You can't see that or let's see, chapter 24, the emotions of life. You can't see their distortions, but that has to mean all the villagers have had psychomet according to our theory so far. We'll see soon enough. I stared at the cigarette smoke I had just puffed out. If I had my smoking pipe, I could have used the white breath to grasp the truth of this festival and the situation a bit more easily. The pipe and Vespa. It's like thinking about overdue homework you procrastinated on the night before. I walked down to the town hall. Miss Momo! Ezra waves her hand at me as if she was waiting for me to come back. Dewey is next to her. What's the business, Mrs. Ez? You see, Miss Momo, it's about almost time for dinner, so they're asking us to aid them with preparing food for the festival. Am I stupid? What is this word? Is it epicures? Epicures. Okay, so I was right. What is that? I'm guessing from context it's like visitors or like things. Oh. Yeah, no, I've never heard this word. Yeah, epicure. A person who takes particular pleasure in food and fine food and drink. Huh. Interesting. I don't think I'm ever going to use that word in like a serious context, but you know, good word to know anyways. I guess would love to see the process firsthand. Oh dear, I'm not cut out for cooking. Oh, but Miss Momo's a terrible cook. What do we do? Oh, I wish I could smack her upside the head. I'll help you out by your side, so don't be anxious. Dewey kindly spoke. And my wife is here to help as well. Nice to meet you. I am Mio. Let us all work together to prepare the food. I can't see any distortion from this person either. I'll try, though as Mrs. Ez mentioned, I am not exactly skilled in the culinary arts myself. Oh, don't worry about it too much. We make special kinds of food for the festivals. Miu said, a special dish. Human meat would be too cliche for this case. Also, the fact that the ring music just started playing as we talk about human meat is really funny to me. Effigies talking about human meat. The palpable irony. Ezra and I followed the two into the kitchen inside the town hall. Around 10 people are gathered in the kitchen, preparing ingredients for the food. The kitchen feels as snug as the rest of the village. The earthly smell of flour dough filled the air. Dewey and I stood before the kitchen counter. Ezra went to help Miu with preparing ingredients. We washed our hands with soap, and I wore the apron Dewey gave. So what are we gonna make? Bread and soup. That's rather simple for food served at a festival. The plainness is what we're trying to make here. Your mind becomes contaminated when you fill your stomach with delicious, extravagant food. Eating extravagant food contaminates the mind. It's not an expression people would usually say. Contaminate the mind? That's a novel way to put it. You think so too, right? That's what our town leader says. They work tirelessly for the mental soundness of our town people. This festival is a part of their efforts. Will the mind become healthy after participating in the festival? Of course, you'll get to experience it as well, Miss Momo. During the festival, we wash away all the filth from our minds. Maybe that's why our town hasn't had any crime at all, unlike most other towns. While Dewey is speaking, something emerges from their chest. Tiny black arms crawl out. The distortion is manifesting. What is this? Did the person just say something that provoked their own mind? Ezra and Miyu bring cleaned ingredients to us, and Dewey puts the ingredients in a pot, one by one. They wait for some time before adding each ingredient. Is there a specific order you're supposed to follow or something? Is this festival held every month? Nope. It takes place monthly. That's a bit different from most festivals I know. Must cost a tidy sum to stage it every month. Although we call it a festival, it's actually rather simple and modest. We only serve bread and soup in these festivals. Just like we're preparing now. It doesn't mean we put little care into cooking food, though. A festival where the mind is cleansed, held once per month. This sounds like a religious rite. Furthermore, this soup has no meat or animal protein. It's cooked purely with greens and vegetables, carrots, potatoes, mushrooms, and more. It's an average vegetarian food. Denouncing meat as an impure food is a belief commonly seen in many religious activities. Okay, Miss Momo, let's season the food with a pinch of salt now. Hi, Meso, how you doing? Do not oh, wait, I forgot about the sticky note. So mean, Frog. You don't have to follow the rules of every sticky note you see, you know? I didn't place it there. It was made by a malicious actor, so you shouldn't follow it. You like me, right? You wouldn't be mean to me. I'm just a sweet little guy. A festival where the mind is cleansed. Town peoples whose distortion cannot be seen. Dewey's sudden manifestation of the distortion. I need a few more clues to draw out an answer. Wait, Miss Momo, that's sugar, not salt. The cooking is almost finished. I didn't see any suspicious ingredients, such as hallucinogenics, being added to the soup through the process. The festival is about to begin. Also, so yeah, now I see why Moses is not. So yeah, Ezra wasn't joking about her being an awful cook. She actually just went, yes, sugar. Yummy. People sit around tables for 6 in the town hall cafeteria. Bowls of the soup we made are placed on each table. A loaf of baked bread is put in front of each of us. Our table consists of Ezra, Dewey, Miu, and myself, and lastly, the town leader, along with a couple of life-sized wooden effigies. They're the figures the town folks were making during the daytime. The effigies also had soup and bread placed in front of them. I looked around. There's a stage at the front of the dining hall. On the stage is a steel chair. The cafeteria is structured in a way that people can see the stage from their tables. This shit tastes so ass. Yeah, no. Don't eat what Moses cooks. She cannot cook, chat. She cannot cook. She is not, in fact, cooking. Miss Momo, it's completely devoid of meat. Ezra whines, sitting across from me. I ignored her. There are important matters to address. I can see the distortion from the townspeople. The degrees of the distortions are mild and slight, like Dewey's. I reckon not everyone in town has joined the festival. There are 57 people in this dining hall, excluding Ezra and I. No, that's not the case. All the villagers have gathered here, the town leader answered. The town seems to have about 50 households. If it's true that these people are the whole population of the town, that would mean most of them live alone. However, if I take the wooden effigies into account, the total becomes 102. That isn't far from my estimate. Oh, sorry. It's even possible that these effigies are occupying the seats where other town folks used to be. Where have they disappeared to? I need to investigate that. You must be remarkably pure of heart, Miss Momo, the town leader spoke graciously. I don't see any filth in you. A mysterious phrase. Now, everyone, let the Harvest Festival begin. The town leader stood up and announced with a loud voice. Let us laugh first! All the town folks burst out and laughed at the same time, including Dewey and Miu. I laughed along. In the festival you were joining for the first time, you have to observe the mood and the people, and follow their behavior accordingly. Ezra awkwardly laughed. The collective laughing fit went on for 10 minutes. When the town leader abruptly stopped laughing, the town people simultaneously quieted down. Town leader sat down. The distortions of the people progressed a little. Let us eat soup. The leader spoke with majesty. The soup has a clean, savory taste. The bowl wasn't too large, so I could eat all of it before 5 minutes would pass. Let us gush out our anger, you filthy, heinous bastards! Oh, I don't know what I just did. My throat just revolted as I yelled bastards. My own body just revolted at me swearing. Thank you, thank you. I don't know why my body just freaked out at that. The teen leader lashed out at the wooden effigy sitting at her table. People all yelled profanities too vulgar for description at the effigy sitting at their tables. What are they upset about? Dewey and me were doing the same, swearing with forbidden faces. Ezra and I followed suit. Town people's distortions progressed further. Once again, when the town leader stopped cursing, the whole cafeteria fell quiet. Let us eat the bread, the town leader said, slowing their ragged breath. It's an ordinary loaf of buttered bread made from flour. The loaf is about the size of a fist. Doesn't have any particular flavor. The people quietly ate the bread. Huh. I mean, if the bread is like that, isn't that closer to just like a bread roll? That's not a loaf, is it? Or am I crazy? Though, honestly, I might just be crazy. Probably, because yeah, roll is a type of bread, yeah? I guess, yeah, it's like more of like just a regular kind of piece of bread rather than like a roll. I hear a loud noise of teeth biting into something hard next to me. Dewey started bleeding from their mouth. A black object was inside the bread they were holding. That seems to be what broke their teeth. That thing feels familiar for some reason. A round of applause! Following the town leader's words, all the people clapped in unison. Dewey, go to the chair. To the cuck chair, Dewey. Get to work. You must watch. Yes. Dewey slowly rose from the seat and walked to the front of the dining hall. They climbed to the stage and sat on the steel chair. Let us all cry for Dewey, who will receive all of our filth, the town leader says, gritting their teeth and dropping their tears. Everyone in the dining hall wails. The people cried their hearts out for Dewey. Something starts happening. The distortions on the townfolk grew severe. The leader puts a tiny black box on Dewey's head. Ooh, the same black box as before? The thing bears a close resemblance to the box we saw at Taeyong's Produce Co. The only difference is in size. I see now. I have to put a stop to this now. If I want to save Dewey, my head is ringing from all the cries. The box begins to vibrate. Detective Moses, this is... Yuria whispered. Ezra, pull Dewey out of the chair right now. Got it, Detective! Ezra sprinted from her seat without delay. Oh, hi, Hurricane. How you doing, man? Just sent me back for something crazy, really crazy and funny. Oh, lovely. Also, from what you've missed, we started the epilogue and the part 2's prologue. We met the crazy rich woman Diaz, who is very eccentric, to say the least. We are now in a small town of 50 people that are said to be a distortion, where there's nobody around except these 50 people. And every month they have a religious rite, where they are now eating bread, eating soup, and one guy just broke his teeth on a black orb, which is now putting him in the chair. It's very weird, to say the least. It's ominous anyways. This is similar to the case of Taeyong Produce Co. Distortions flow out of the people. A stream of distortions akin to a river is made. The extracted distortions seep into the body of Dewey, who is crying. Miyu screams as the distortion manifests from her body. Her distortion is then pulled out of her, flowing to Dewey. Dewey is taking up all the distortions of the villagers. In their word, they're receiving their filth. This place is filled with the sound of laments. Dewey's body gradually swells in an unstable manner. This is driving me mad. So basically, I was watching a player who did a soft reset on LobCorp. They accidentally glitched that game, so the first Amno is Rudolph and not First Sin. And day 16, they got Plague Doctor. They don't know. Stream ended there. Oh, they're going to have fun. But also, I don't remember what's the cause of the glitch. I think if you reset the entire thing on like a repo on a day right before you would get a new abnormality, it can just straight up glitch and give you that abnormality instead. That's actually a pretty common one. From what I actually experienced that one, and from what I heard, that's actually a pretty common glitch in LobCorp. It's a weird one, alright, but surprisingly common. But yeah, no, that person is screwed. Because you got pretty much Plague Doctor with no way to actually stop Plague Doctor. So, like, good luck to that guy. He's gonna have to do another reset. Reset when you get an no choice? Okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, they're gonna have to full reset. They're gonna get to the 12 things, and they either have to early clear a white knight, which good luck, or they have to just basically reset. It'll be fun. Ezra stormed out to save Dewey, but she soon falters and kneels down. Even Ezra's distortion is about to be pulled out. What happened to the distortion is extracted from a person. Will the mental scars associated with it be erased? No. This is not the time to be thinking about such thing. I smash my right elbow on the table. A blade extends from my prosthetic arm. The dining hall is echoing with sorrowful cries. Stop what you're doing this instant. I held the blade of my prosthetic arm at the town leader's throat. Everyone, let us rejoice now. Rejoice! Doesn't one sin do something to help? Yes. That's why I said they're probably screwed. I'm not going to tell you what it does, but yes, one sin does that. I did have that one spoiled for me, sadly, but you know, through just kind of like, it got posted so much, you know, it kind of popped up on my end, but I don't want you to full know how you're supposed to cure it, you know? But I think they're going to have fun trying to do that solo. They're probably going to lose their minds. How would that... I wonder what the interaction's going to be. Oh, yeah, no. Wait, they skipped grabbing one sin? They had an opportunity to get one sin again and they skipped it? Bro, they're so fucked. Everyone, let us rejoice now. Rejoice! The town leader shouted without so much as a flinch. People cheered. Their shouts of joy could be described as screams. Let us bid farewell. Make their parting a joyful one. As soon as they finished their words, the stage floor beneath Dewey opened, causing them to fall through the gap. A dull sound was heard moments later. Judging from the interval between the fall and the echo, the basement space is deep. The stream of distortions followed Dewey into the space below the stage. The trapdoor begins to close. The screams of bliss continue. Ezra, we need to go after Dewey. I ran forward and helped Ezra up. Curses, the trapdoor is about to close. I used all my strength to get up the stage carrying Ezra, who was on the verge of fainting. I pushed her down the opening before making the fall myself. I saw him in LabCorp art during White Arp and Obvious Library of Ruina, so I know he helps, but not exactly how. That will be fun on my second playthrough. Yes. So that isn't enough to like fully solve it. You still need to do a little bit of brainstorming, so you'll be fine. You'll get to find that reveal on your own. Because funny enough, knowing that one sin is a part of it is not that big of a spoiler. Because it also is just kind of context clues of the religious imagery. But the actual way to solve it is interesting, to say the least. And it's very chaotic, so it's kind of hard to figure out. So I wish you luck when you get that on your second playthrough. It will be fun, though, for you, I think. It'll be very fun. I fell on top of Ezra. We thankfully didn't fall from a height too high. When I looked up, the ceiling was already shut on us. I can still faintly hear the cheering of the town people. A putrid smell stings my nose. I had to look at my surroundings. Detective Moses, look over there. Uria said, her voice shaking. You've got to be kidding me. I placed my hand on my forehead. This is a prison. The distortion of distortions. This isn't a distortion of a single individual. It's an amalgamation of people's distortions. There are 45 of such distortions down here. They match the number of wooden effigies I saw above. These are multiple distortions coalesced into large masses. I cannot begin to speculate the cause or abilities of these entities. Dewey moans and squirms. Their flesh expands and bursts. From the ruptures, arms and legs grow out. A swarm of butterflies come forth. Soap spuds pour out. Utterly unfathomable distortions start crawling in our direction. So wait, did we just get butterfly? Is this the village moment? Yes. Also, I wonder if this is the funeral of butterflies or a different butterfly. It could easily be a different kind of butterfly, or it could be because we do have Ardor butterfly, but there's also could be a funeral. It'll be interesting to see at least. I don't have my pipe with me. Ezra is lying unconsciously. Fortunately, there's a door behind us. Uria, can you open your workshop now? I mean, aberrations exist. Wait, no. I know, that's why I'm saying it's like, it could be funeral, it could be a different butterfly, yeah, or an aberration as well. But this is a distortion too, so it's not gonna be an abnormality exactly. Yeah, so it's probably not funeral, it's gonna be some form of butterfly though, for sure. Yes, I can. Then summon it now. Understood, Detective Moses. Uria hopped out of my shoulder and touched the steel door. Now if I can open this door. I pulled the knob of the steel door, however it won't budge. I used the fairy I'd been keeping in the inner coat of my pocket and gave it another try. The steel door refuses to move. That means this door isn't a locked portal that leads to another space. This is functionally closer to a wall. It has been sealed from the outside, defined as a door that won't ever see its intended use. The distortion is getting closer to us. I kept forcefully pulling the doorknob with all my might. My right arm was stretched tight. I have nothing but motor strength in my prosthetic arm to rely on. This is an expensive arm Ezra picked for me, hoping that Ezra's choice of prosthetic limb was correct. I pulled the doorknob using all my strength, steel chafing against the door. Frame produced a loud grating noise, the ear-piercing screech drew the attention of a bestial distortion, which then started to run towards me. Damn it! The screws on my right arm squeaked. The joints connecting the prosthetic arm to my shoulders are starting to break from the strain. Blood leaking from the open gaps. This hurts like hell. I shut my eyes tight. I squeezed out my strength one last time. With a roaring metallic noise, the door swung open. A flash of yellow light bolted across the room in a straight line. A gaping hole was made in the body of the beast-like distortion that had almost reached me. The yellow harpoon got lodged on the wall on the opposite side of the room. Vespa stands in front of the open door with matted hair and a haggard look. He looks around a bit before drawing his yellow hundo. Detective Moses, you will have to take responsibility for what you've done. Glaring at me, Vespa spoke in a deep voice. Our goat, but also probably about to fuck us up. I love that man, but we are most likely cooked, you know? Just a wee bit, you know? Just a wee bit. Though we know he works with us eventually, but he is about to jump Moses 100%. The seller. Don't be mistaken. I'm not offering you a deal this time. This is a threat. But before that, we'll have to handle this situation. I assume these creatures are of similar nature to what was filmed in your footage. Vespa mused before charging into the distortions. The creatures, each distorted in their own right, are slashed with the same blade, leaving a yellow trail in its path. When Vespa lifts his right arm, the harpoon stuck in the wall returns to his hand. Seems his broken arm has completely healed up. He slashes one distortion after another with flamboyant yet disciplined movement. I knew he was gay. I knew it. No straight man is flamboyant. Surely, chat. A pointed tentacle rapidly extending from a distortion gets sliced before it reaches him. A beastly paw swung at him falls to the floor as a trail of yellow light passes through it. After neutralizing each distortion, Vespa thrusts his sword and harpoon into them to end them for good. The subdued distortions soon restore their human form, albeit as corpses brutally slashed and cut. I suppose this is the law of the phenomenon taking its inevitable course. As they transform back into humans, the distortions that have been shrouding them scattered away. They are most likely returning to the people who originally belonged to. Vespa continued to advance without a hitch, creating yellow trails with his blade. If my prediction is correct, the most dangerous distortion should be working in the deepest corner of this room. The victim of the first festival, who had to take up the distortions of 100 people. Their shape would be positively unimaginable. In our current state, there's no reason to take a gamble by confronting such a being. All we need to do is find a way out of the distortion. Oh, lovely. Hey, Vespa, the distortion's here. A yellow harpoon grazed my face and nailed itself to the wall behind me. Blood flowed from the cut it bore on my left cheek. Silence, Detective Moses. I do not wish to converse with a person who broke my trust. An obvious consequence. If you dare to run your mouth to me one more time before I ask, my blade will slit your throat next. Nothing I say to Vespa will get through to him right now. Also, did the music stop? What? How did the... I have this shit set to shuffle. Hello? Come on. Keep going, please. Is it just... Wow, okay, the shuffle just broke for some reason. I realized it was quiet. I was wondering what was happening. Apparently the music just broke. Alright then. Nothing I say to Vespa will get through to him right now. I tapped Ezra on the cheek, who is still unconscious. There is no mask on Ezra's face, which means Dewey has a hold of Ezra's distortion among many others. For Ezra to come back to her usual self, Dewey must die. This is causality. I cannot solve the distortions here using my usual methodology. They are distortions with so many people merged into one. It's impossible to face the task of each and every one of them. The only option remaining is to physically dismantle them like Vespa is doing. However, as a result, while Ezra could return to normal, we will have to kill all 45 people trapped in the cellar. Moreover, what will become of the townfolk who will be subjected to the accumulated backlove of their distortions pouring back into them all at once? Well, it may be possible to solve the distortions that only possess a single texture, each as opposed to the amalgamations down here. Those distortions will be severe, to say the least. So this is basically just like one giant trying to push off all their problems to a future date, huh? It'll be interesting, to say the least. So are we about to like have a whole ass town just break out? This is gonna be fun, I think. Distortion of a single pattern. Now I see the picture. It was that son of a bitch Honey June's designed to cause this. Distortions tangled with impurity are not what the association need. A pure distortion manifests from a single person. If we took care of all the distortion in the cellar, there will be 57 unmixed distortions overground up for grabs. Saving everyone was never a viable option in the first place. There was no saving this town the moment the town people started passing their distortions onto one another. The most reasonable choice I can make is to help all the distortions in this cellar, and to solve the unmixed distortions that will manifest in the town hall above with my methods. If I woke Ezra up and just ran away with her, I'd fail to save everyone. I need my smoking pipe, but the pipe is in Vespa's possession. Yuria, is there any equipment in your workshop I could use? Huh? Are you going to use it yourself, Detective? Yes. Those gadgets were all made with Ezra's strength in mind. The force will be too strong for you to handle. I just need something that can land one huge blow. This prosthetic arm could deal with the recoil. Wait here for a second then. I'll fetch something useful from my Altier. Yuria ran to her workshop. I searched the room for Dewey. Ezra can regain her consciousness once Dewey has been disposed of. With Ezra awake, I will be able to talk to Vespa without losing my head. Many times have I sacrificed the lesser for the greater in my life. Whenever I make such a choice, I can't help but feel as if a corner of my heart was being cut off. I see a distortion that appears to be Dewey crawling in a corner. It's not hostile. It wriggles on the wall. It's spewing butterflies, bubbles, paint, and other things from its body. Here it is, Detective Moses. You could equip it on your right arm. Yuri handed me a giant glove. It looked like a power gauntlet, made for Ezra, of course. Yuri handed me a giant glove. Or, just read the same line twice, dumbass. Careful, Detective. This device was built for Ezra to use. I put the gauntlet on. Yuria, how do I use it? Clench and unclench your fist twice, and then make a fist. Throw a punch once the gauntlet turns red. What I can do for them is to end them in a single blow and make it as painless as possible. Dewey may not be aggressive for now, but they might retaliate fiercely if I provoke them. I closed and opened my hand as Yuria instructed. The glove vibrates, releasing hot steam. My hand was always forced, even when there seemed to be a choice. There was always a right answer. I was obligated to choose. The glove was heated. Streams of steam escape, create an intense noise. Vespa turned his head to catch a glimpse of me, and then goes back to slashing distortions. I threw my fist at the wall. The sounds of crushing flesh and exploding mechanical parts rang through the cellar. Detective Moses! Uriah shouted. I grabbed a painkiller from my pocket and injected it into my chest. Dewey returned to human form, or at least their lower half did. No one will be able to tell that this cadaver was Dewey with its upper half missing. My face and clothes are all smudged with bits of flesh and blood. The prosthetic arm has been reduced to pieces from the recoil. Its components scattered all over the floor. My right shoulder was gone too, along with the arm. As Yuria expected, the force of the device was simply too strong for my body. It served its purpose nonetheless. A mask appeared on Ezra's face. I shambled to her and moved my left hand with as much strength as I can muster to wake her up. Detective. You're awake. What happened to your arm this time, Detective? Oh, Detective, you've done it again! Get yourself hurt while I'm away! Ezra scolded me in a tearful voice. It's not like I voluntarily walked in the harm's way. Okay, now I need to get my pipe back from Vespa. Vespa? What? How? What is he doing out here? He's made it quite far already. Talk about inexorable. I will also look up this one so I actually say it right. Inexorable, I think it is. Inexorable? Inexorable. Okay. Inexorable. I butchered that then. Inexorable. Okay. Impossible to stop. Okay, so like relentless, basically. Inexorable. That's a fun one. I'll explain the details later. Ezra can't manifest Psychoment like the last time because Yuria couldn't use her workshop to make more pendants, but we can still bluff. Ooh, excuse me. Ezra, stay alert and ready yourself for combat. A harpoon will come our way in a moment. I quietly whispered to Ezra, and she nodded as she put on her own combat glove. Hey, Vespa! A flash of light caught my eye. Zing. A harpoon came hurtling towards me. Ezra quickly deflected it by kicking its shaft with her right leg. The harpoon fails to reach me and gets stuck on the floor. I believe I warned you not to speak to me. Vespa was standing in front of me before I knew it. He's covered in bits and pieces of distortions. Do you wish to put a conclusion to our conflict now? Vespa said, sweeping his rumpled hair. He looks haggard and gaunt, but he doesn't appear tired at all. His eyes still gleam with energy. Think you can handle us in that condition? Shaking off dust off her hands, Ezra boasted. Don't be mistaken. I'm not offering you a deal this time. This is a threat. I looked into Vespa's eyes. If you don't follow my orders, you will die here. Besides, we're in District 11. Did you just say District 11? Vespa lets out a deep sigh. It's understandable that this news would hit him like a bolt from the blue. Then again, we merely did what we could to survive, and has Vespa hunted us in order to get his work done. I shouldn't let emotion get in our way of this factual matter. What do you want this time, Dr. Moses? My pipe. Vespa took the pipe out of his coat and tossed it towards me. I caught it with my left hand. Right in the head. In my right arm. I ate it. After all, I had to survive by any means. In that instant, Ezra charged at Vespa with incredible speed. Ezra struck Vespa in the right cheek with her fist. Vespa instantaneously retaliated by striking his left knee into her chest. The two got into a melee, unfazed by each other's blows. What a doggish mess. Oh my god, I thought the Doberman was just fan things. No, no, no. That is just straight up what they say. That's amazing. It's like the fight between a golden retriever and a Doberman. Yuria put my thoughts into words. Ezra, that's enough. I've lost my right shoulder. Even if I got my arm back, it would no longer be possible to attach to my body. And I'm not a purist when it comes to body parts either. Ezra took a quick step and stood in front of me. Vespa, you saw the footage, right? I have. Vespa replied, spitting a bloody sputum onto the ground. The beings here are much the same as the creatures in the video you saw. In essence, people with the know-how call them distortions. These are not ordinary distortions, however. They were artificially created, and are in fact distortions of multiple people mixed together. It'll be easier to understand if you view them as something similar to the infamous pianist. Are they not similar to the monsters in the outskirts anyways? You could say that. Point is, simple physical force may not be enough to deal with some of them. There's no guarantee that their attacks will be physical either. Didn't you feel it as you progressed further? What the fuck was that voice? How should we terminate them then? Kill them with fire? No, you'll need the powers of my smoking pipe. Yuri and I could use a twinning ribbon. Yes, Detective Moses. Yuri went to her workshop. Dr. Moses, what is the purpose of taking up such an occupation? To learn about the distortion. Are you saying that you acted out of simple curiosity? You're rather selfish. Thanks to you, I have lost quite a few things. I won't deny it. I am a selfish person, as you said. I only act for the sake of self-satisfaction. You should know that neither of us are following some noble cause to begin with. You aren't seeking sympathy from me, are you? Vespa glared at me and put on a faint smile. You're right. We were simply doing our jobs. Detective Moses. Here it is. I worked as fast as I could to make it. Yuria shook my leg to grab my attention and handed an orange ribbon to me. Ezra, tie this ribbon to my pipe for me. Got it. Got it. I held the smoking pipe adorned with the orange ribbon in my hand. I missed this sensation. I blew a white breath into the pipe. A white smoke shrouds Vespa and Ezra, as well as permeating to his yellow huando and her gloves. What is this now? I'll protect you from psychological damage some distortions will inflict, and the attacks you perform will leave more than just a physical impact. This is a method devised by Yuri and I based on the capabilities of the white breath to protect one from mental attacks. We perceive the idea that it could perhaps be used in an offensive way to cause some kind of damage. The preparations are complete. We will head deeper into the cellar and take care of every distortion in this place, and solve the distortion of the townspeople above. Vespa, when this is over, I'll do what I can to straighten out your situations. You certainly have a way with words, I will admit. Well now, let's head to the deeper area. Yes, Detective! Vespa and Ezra led the way, with Yuri and I in tow. The distortions assumed more distorted shapes the deeper we went. Ezra crushed them with her fists, and Vespa cut down the ones in his way one by one. The areas we passed through were littered with the bodies of people who were freed from the distortion and death. I placed my hand on my forehead. I still haven't grown indifferent to the weight of my actions like this. It feels as though I'm constantly committing sins. Despite that, we must advance. With Vespa's and Ezra's forces combined, the distortions are equally dealt with. Soon enough, we are faced with one final distortion remaining, inhabiting the deepest area. In spite of the white breath coiling around us, merely looking at it makes my head pound. It takes the form of a spear of flesh that floats into the air. I cannot begin to imagine the desolation and anguish this person may have felt, storing the distortions of 100 people. Vespa throws a harpoon at it right away. Blood spurts from the wound it left on its body. However, the harpoon couldn't dig deep enough. It's only stuck on its surface. Dozens of arms radiate from its globular distortion at once in response. The arms are all shaped differently, each composed of different types of matter. Vespa swiftly severs the arms and tentacles coming at us. Wait, Gregor? Wait. Arms of different matter all spouting out. That's Gregor, no? Oh boy. Is Gregor a mix of... Oh, this is gonna be fun. Wait, Gregor might be a mix of things. Each composed different types of matter. Vespa swiftly severs the arms and tentacles coming at us. Ezra pulls back and loads up on her strength and lands her fist on the harpoon stuck on the distortion for a smashing blow. Propelled by the impact of the punch, the harpoon managed to tear a sizable hole in the distortion's body. The gigantic heart line in its center was exposed. That needs to be destroyed. The hole is closing up. Ezra, stop that open wound from closing. Vespa, cut the arms trying to grab Ezra. Yuri, tie a penetrating ribbon around my pipe. Ezra jumps into the distortion to forcefully spread the rupture open. Vespa warms off the threats approaching Ezra. Yuria jumped from my shoulder onto my arm and tied a purple ribbon around my pipe. I took a deep violet breath. The pipe assumed the shape of a matchlock rifle. Detective, the walls are closing in too tightly. I braced the gun against my shoulder using only my left arm. Dr. Moses, you need to act quick. I have only one shot, and I must make it count. I put forth all my concentration. Detective! I pulled the trigger. The bullet flew past Ezra's head and hit the distortion's heart. The spherical distortion squirmed and boiled for a short while, then blew up with a deafening blast. A stream of distortions poured out from where it was and flown away. Covered in blood and flesh, we stood before the corpse of a young person whose heart was punctured. And we have ads going, so everyone go get some drinks of water, go to the bathroom if you need to, or get anything that you need to do before we come back. And we will be back in about 3-ish minutes. I'll see you then, y'all. Alright, and we are back with Chapter 26, Expulsion. I think we'll probably be able to do 1 or 2 more chapters for today, and then we'll probably sign off, but we got enough time, I think, for 1 or 2 more. And then we probably will, I think, because we had 35 chapters, we might be able to, next Saturday, we'll be able to finish this, and maybe we'll move on to Leviathan. Either that week or the week after. We will see. Either way, because, yeah, I think it's like 35. We're getting close to the end here, so we're probably going to actually see Vespa join the squad. Maybe, hopefully soon. Because I'm guessing he's going to be in too much of hot water to return, knowing he's straight up disappeared for a week. There are no more distortions in the cellar. All that remains are the bodies of 46 people. Go ahead and tell us what to do, Dr. Moses, Vespa asked me in a cynical tone. We should go up, of course. I can't put my hand on my forehead or smoke from my pipe anymore. I can't seem to move my left shoulder as I will. I twisted and moved every part of my body I could to aim the rifle with only one arm. But I guess that wasn't enough to mitigate the gun's recoil. My left shoulder is dislocated, and my right shoulder is gone. I'm completely powerless. Ezra, please carry me on your back. You bet, Detective. Vespa, I want you to exert physical strength on my behalf for a while. I can only take responsibility for you after we finish this job. If you wish. Vespa gave an icy reply. Ezra picked up the smoking pipe on the floor and held me in her arms. Ezra, I asked for a piggyback, not this. Oh my god, I now understand why everyone posts Yuri about them. I thought it was just kind of like for general, like kind of like the dynamics seemed fun. We have a bridal carry. Ezra, I asked for piggyback, not this. It's easier for me to respond to danger in this pose. Can't believe I'm being carried like a bride at this age. I yielded myself to Ezra's embrace. Uriah was sitting on top of my head before I noticed. Oh my god, I love this. I love this a lot. Leaving the cellar is going to be a fairly easy task. The floors of the stage we fell from didn't appear to be solid, and it isn't too high above us, so Ezra and Vespa will be able to easily break the ceiling and secure us an exit. The real problem is what comes after we go up. I'm frankly afraid to imagine what kind of scenery might await us. We traced our way back to where we fell. Uriah closed the door to our workshop and withdrew it. When we opened the steel door again, a heap of rocks were waiting on the other side. The wall of large rocks, crudely and doggedly piled on top of one another, is reminiscent of the townspeople's vehement disregard. The exit is right above us, Vespa. Might I slash open the ceiling? Yes. Vespa brandished the blade without asking further. After a few trails of yellow light flashed in the air, the stage floor broke down. Ezra smoothly dodges debris falling from above. We jumped up to the ground floor. When we got up, carnage was unfolding before our eyes. The polychromatic scene stimulates and overwhelms my mind. A hellish landscape we could do nothing to fix. This might be one of the 5 most detestable series I have ever seen in my life. Right. This is what's destined to happen when distortions are intertwined with each other. This is not like what happened in the cellar. While the distortions I face down below were akin to people with multiple heads, each asserting their own thoughts, the ones here are independent beings expressing their unadulterated desires. I should have known that better than anyone, yet I was oblivious of the fact. No, I merely buried it into the back of my mind, not wanting to bring it up again. Dr. Moses, I regret to inform you that I am not capable enough to control this situation, Vespa said in a low-pitched voice. Detective Moses, the situation here looks worse than in the basement, Uriah said, hiding... Sorry. Uriah said, hiding on the back of Ezra's head. I could hear Ezra gulp from the nervousness. The distortions, each different from the rest, are killing each other in unique ways. The strong harass and tear into the weak, as if to flaunt and demonstrate their powers. The scenery is the truest manifestation of the town collective mind that had been suppressed until now. A glaring variety of colorful distortions grapple and rip one another. This is what I would call a festival of the town. Can I really managed to save one of them. Noticing our presence, some of the distortions turned to us and fixed their gazes. A white-furred beast in the shape of an ape that has no eyes. A red tetrahedron with 8 eyes. A yellow mantis with the head of a lion. I sense hostility from those 3 entities. Vespa and Ezra will be able to handle the ape and mantis somehow. The tetrahedron, on the other hand, my pipe will be needed. I closed my eyes and I made up my mind. Ezra, put the pipe in my mouth, please. Yes, detective! I ought to save at least one of these distortions. The choice I made in the cellar will be pointless otherwise. Ezra placed the pipe to my lips as I asked. One second. Oh boy, this is fun. I will say that. I hope we get to... Oh no, it's just him. Damn it. I was hoping we'd see artwork of this. Damn, this would be fun. I really wish we got official... I wish, like, in the first couple chapters, we got more official artwork of this. That'd be really fun, you know? Like, especially to scene like this, because this actually sounds like something that'll put Lovetown to shame, honestly. Because, like, people talk about that one, but, like, honestly, I don't find that one as bad as this one sounds interesting. This is, like, on the level of, like, what, the LobCorp? One of the LobCorp bad ends, anyways. Okay, Edward, that's really funny. I was drinking water as you redeemed that. I will take another big sip for you, though. Thank you, Edward, for the redeem. I appreciate it. I let out a deep, pale breath. It's the sensation of life force leaving the body. This breath is beautiful, for it is inspired at the cost of life. Oh. So it straight up is based on LobCorp elements, huh? Because the red cylinder is a physical attack, the white is mental. I think the black was also a mental debuff, which very much fits LobCorp. And now we have pale, the cost of life, a translucent turquoise powder, taking on the hue of appetite scattered over the town hall. Casting a blue glow, the powder adheres to the distortions. They begin to slow down not long after. And this is the powder of death. It brings the living closer to mortality. Death signifies silence and cessation. All living beings are brought to a stop. My lungs aren't big enough to exhale a breath that can stall this many distortions at once. Still, it'll earn me some time to confront at least one distortion. Even if I can only save one of them, I must do what I can. Damn it, this might be very well be my last breath. Detective, you promised me not to use that breath! Ezra blew gasket. I ignored her furious scolding. Vespa, don't strike the distortions unless they attack first. I'm afraid I won't be able to obey that, Dr. Moses. Vespa reached for the hilt of his sword. It would appear that his patience has reached its limit. And yet, I thought I could reason with this young man to an extent. Bang! A blast similar to the explosion of fireworks was heard from outside the town hall. Footfalls rumbled from the ground at the same time. I could hear multiple people, all wearing shoes. Familiar footsteps I've heard in the past, of people in black long coats and golden masks adorned with the single symbol of an eye storm into the building. Fixers under Diaz's supervision, the Utjout. They form a dark wave as they wield their scimitars and ruthlessly charge into distortions. So that's how it is. The distortions, rendered immobile by the pale breath, are helplessly incapacitated, one by one. Please forgive our abruptness, Dr. Moses, and I must say you didn't disappoint. I knew I could trust you to subdue the distortion of this town without any unnecessary casualty. Honey-June walked towards us from the town hall entrance. The request wasn't issued by the Seven Association. Han Hee-jun, he once again serves as Diaz's obedient little lapdog. He always has. I'm a hypocrite. Once again, I couldn't save anyone. Our party and Vespa were moved to the corner of the town square, where we sat down to lick our wounds, out the private military force under Diaz's command. Cleanly sort out the town situation, vacate distortions, and make assiduous preparations to transport them, as well as treating our injuries with great care. Ezra won't say a word. She still seems upset about me using pale breath. Then Honeyjune approached us. Dr. Moses, have this cup of warm tea as you rest. What is Diaz planning to do with the distortions? How can I possibly grasp what's on her mind? Also, thank you for the big stretch, Ryoshu. I will do that now. Oh, God, I actually need that one. I've been going back to the gym the last 2 days, so I'm very sore today in my arms. I have legs tomorrow, but I've been doing push and pull, so like my entire upper body is tired. I will say, I very much did like doing this stream today. This has been really relaxing, so I'm very happy. Anyway, I didn't quite expect you to be with Vespa Cabro. Cabro, the taboo hunter of N-Corp. Is he that famous? Those in the know are familiar with him. I work for Seven Association, you know? Oh. Holy, I don't know if that picked up on the mic, but I just cracked the hell out of my neck. Ezra and Vespa are sitting next to me, still keeping their mouth shut. And I brought news to you, Vespa Cabro, sir. Is there any sincerity in a thing? Honeyjune says he knows everything he needs to know, even the fact that Vespa will be with us. What is it? Honeyjune handed an envelope over to Vespa. He opened it and took out the letter inside, shortly before crumpling it and throwing it on to the ground. Okay, that is us. I thought we were someone else saying that one. Honeyjune, give this poor fellow a shirt or any clothing to put on. It's embarrassing to look at, you know. The jacket and shirt Vespa were wearing was torn to rags after repeated battle. As you wish, Dr. Moses. Honeyjune beckoned his finger to an Uchout, which brought him a white dress shirt. I'll invite you and your company to Lady Diaz's place once this has been tidied up. Let me ask you something, Honeyjune. What is it, Dr. Moses? Is it fun to mess around sitting on top of my head? It's not very pleasant, to be honest. God, he's such an asshole. I love him. He truly is the catty gay. I hear that you can see the distortion from people. Looking at me, Vespa said, yes. I answered, smoking a cigarette with my patched up left hand. Then tell me, Dr. Moses, what do you see from me right now? I see the tattered wings of a bee on your back. Vespa has been expelled from N-Corp. Oh my god, this is what he looks like at the end of the chapter? That explains so much. Let me just copy that. Look at that. Look at my, bro, look at my wet Doberman, bro. Bro, look at this wet-ass Doberman. I'm gonna send this on the server. I love this. I absolutely love this artwork so much. It's so good. I will say PM has such an amazing such an amazing job at, you know, just making like the most raggedy old men and women possible, and everyone looks depressed. Ugh, I love that so much. I know you saw it. Saw what? Huh? Huh? What? What category? Chapter 27. The Mansion. We're in Han Hee-jun's car, driving down the road. Uchap vehicles follow us, loaded with the distortions they've captured. The atmosphere in the car is comparable to that of a funeral. No one dares to speak first. Only Ezra is being fidgety, struggling to withstand the mood. She's not one to break silence, though. Where are we headed? It was Vespa he opened his mouth and spoke in a raspy voice. You have been invited. You'll be able to give your tired and injured bodies a much-needed rest here. So yeah, no, I'm slowly just making his voice more of a catty gay. That is what I'm gonna do for Han Hee-jun. We're headed over to Diaz's place, I bet. This is awful. I can already picture what will happen once we arrive in my head. Right now I have no choice but to play into her hands. So have we passed her little test? Yes, my personal impression is that your way of handling matters and the results it produces are excellent, as I thought, Dr. Moses. I'm certain Milady will think likewise. Sure, she will. Driving along the curvy roads. We arrived at a mansion lit with fanciful lights. A backstreet's inhabitant couldn't ever dream to earn a tiny room in a house like this, even if they worked their tail off their entire life. To add insult to injury, this is at a house where Diaz permanently resides. It's a vacation home, a place as significant to her as a pair of shoes stored in the corner of a closet that may or may not be worn someday. She could probably own at least one mansion like this in every nest. After we step out of the car, Han Hee-jun leads the way for us. Before long, Diaz came running to me with open arms and hugged me. I will say, I absolutely love this. It's great. I will say, I love PM writing so much. It's just a lot of fun, and like I love the character work they do, you know, in the city, in the world building. It's cinema. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Moses, sweetheart, you must have taken great pains to get your job done. Good work, darling. Oh gosh. I see you're still having fun playing with me like a puppet on a string. Oh, don't be so cold about it. If I knew you could do a wonderful job handling it, right, Hee-jun? Yes, indeed. A sudden growl interrupts the conversation. Ezra's belly is such an honest alarm. Oh, sorry. Oh, Ezra, I knew you were starving, you poor baby girl. I prepared a ton of rare dishes for you. Come on, let's eat together. God, I hate her so much. Oh, God, I hate her so much. Oh, my God. Can the sassy boy clad in yellow dine as well? Wait, 1 second. 1 second. Oh my god. I just immediately saw the sassy child. Has there ever been artwork of this with like Moses and Vespa? Please tell me there has. No, there's nothing. We're not gonna acknowledge what the fuck that is. Sad. God. That's so fucking funny. That's honestly amazing. I love it so much. I love it, I love it, I love it. Diaz. Diaz answered in a completely apathetic tone. So is that or is that More than 100 kinds of dishes are placed on the log dinner table, and only 6 people sit around this table. That means most of the food will go to waste. Each plate of food on this table probably costs as much as a house in a resident area of the back streets. In that sense, could this meal be considered extravagant? Such a description only applies to consumption beyond one's means. Diaz can easily afford this, and more. To her, this meal would be the equivalent of purchasing a sandwich at your local ham pang. PM, I love you guys, but this product placement is absolutely insane. They can't keep getting away with it! Oh my god. I'm sure you set up that scheme because there is something you want me to do. Cut to the chase, will you? Can you go to the L Corp's nest? Diaz says with a merry smile. Are you referring to Lobotomy Corporation, a wing that recently fell? Oh, that's Vespa. Are you referring to the Lobotomy Corporation, a wing that recently fell? Vespa said impassively. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it was. Diaz replied to him without so much giving a glance in his direction. You still haven't gone away with that dream, huh? Of course not. I'm a girl with many dreams, you know? Isn't that right, Ezra? Yeah. Now, Corp, once again, I set out for a fallen nest. This is the first time I'm making a journey to such place since the Smoke War. Brings back several memories. Oh, so you know what? That's why Moses hates... That's why Moses hates Otis so much! They're birds of a feather, and Moses absolutely hates herself for what she's done in the Smoke War and we need people to die. So seeing someone who's done the exact same thing, it was a way for her to vent her own frustration and self-hatred of herself. That explains so much, doesn't it, huh? The night is long, Moses. Let me tell you all about all the favors I want to ask of you, taking all the time we need. Oh, for the wing's sake. Translation notes. No, we are not sneaking Ham Ham Pang Pang product placement into the English text. Mr. Ji-hoon has included them in the original dialogue. Oh, that's lovely. So I guess we'll leave it right here on chapter 28. That'll be about, what, 7 chapters to finish up next stream? We'll probably be able to do that, and we might even get to see a little bit of a Leviathan next week, huh? I think that'll be fun to do, won't it? Yeah, because I think next we'll do Leviathan, which actually is more of a comic, though, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, it's a webcomic, right? Because I know that one has a lot more images related to it. But yes, this will be where we end off for today. Thank you guys all for hanging out as we read our way through this. I hope you guys all have a lovely evening. I hope you guys all get some good grub at some point. And I hope people start getting sleep, because I know people like Ryoshu and Hurricane are like at much later than we are, so it's probably nighttime for them. So have a lovely night, everyone. Get good sleep and have some good food, alright? Take it easy, y'all. Bye-bye.